Hi, I'm Grace, and I'm a Capricorn. Please like and subscribe. Generally, I'm leading a happy life, but my sister Esther has always been a pain in the ass. She is 2 years younger than me, and can be really competitive. Whenever I get a new dress, she would rush to the mall and grab a similar one immediately. What's worse, she'd ruin my day by saying something really mean.
It's not your color. You look like a polyester dinosaur in this dress.
Oh, come on. It's none of your business. When I dyed my hair to look nice for the homecoming dance, she would go to the exactly same hair salon, asking for the same hairdresser to copy it, and claimed I was the copycat instead.
Yeah, she just can't think for herself. What an empty-headed zombie.
Couldn't take it anymore. I began to take an interest in car race so that I could avoid the toxic air around Esther. The car courses in the neighborhood are very beautiful. Being inside a national forest and having cars fly by me was refreshing. I would spend hours with my race car, getting my rage out. Unfortunately, one day after a huge fight with Esther again, I stormed out of home and went into my car and headed for the race courses. However, due to the lousy weather that day, I had a hard time seeing through the freaking rain, and as I entered a darker stretch with many turns, I slammed into an oncoming car. It was a head-on collision. Yet somehow I managed to get away with it. Sure, I spent the next few months in the hospital, but I broke neither my neck nor my legs. Apart from being confined to bed for a long time, the only ramification was that I was not able to express myself through facial expressions anymore. I had some pretty bad nerve damage, and the nerves in charge of facial expression just could not function as usual, but it was the best result already. No one could tell if I am happy or sad. Big deal. Esther was quiet for a while, but after I was back to school, there she went again. She would make exaggerated facial expression in front of me on purpose. Now and then, she would lift her eyebrows, wink her eyes, laugh with her mouth wide open. For those who didn't know it, they would probably think there was something wrong with her, not me.
You just can't do it, can you? You pathetic human robot.
Get a life, you pathetic attention seeker. Despite the annoying attempts from Esther to pick a fight with me, I was able to concentrate on myself after the accident. Life was too short. I began to work hard on schoolwork and took a sudden interest in psychology since when I was in the hospital, I was surrounded by so many helpless souls. Many of them lost their hope and constantly complain about their life due to various diseases. Luckily, since a new boy called Roger came to our school, Esther changed her target immediately and gave me a break. Roger was sure a superstar. He joined our school basketball team and soon became the captain of the team because he was such an amazing player. Having become a huge fan of Roger, Esther soon joined the cheer squad. I was glad that Esther was out of my way. However, things took an unexpected turn. After the accident, I still went for a ride once in a while, but I would check the weather and everything to make sure nothing went wrong. And one day I bumped into Roger at the entrance. He said hello and I nodded slightly. He seemed confused, but I ignored. With my emotionless face, he must think I was a cold-blooded and arrogant witch, but I didn't care. I was just surprised that he liked car racing as well. The next day, after school on my way home, I was witnessing a man grab the purse of an old lady, so I hit the gas and went after him. He drove fast, but I was faster, so eventually I managed to stop him in front of the police station. The police took over the rest, and I went home exhausted. I saw Esther off Roger's car. It turned out that Esther lied to Roger that she missed the school bus and that I wouldn't take her home. She begged him to give her a ride. On their way home, they have seen me zigzagging on the road.
That's just typical of her. My sister just couldn't care less for others. She has always been so rude and impulsive.
I knew what a suspicious and jealous creature Esther was, so just to save the trouble for myself, I immediately went inside.
See? What a snobbish jerk.
I don't know, maybe she is just tired.
Esther was furious. She found Roger just kept his eyes on me till I disappeared behind the door. A few days later, the whole class was on a flight to California for summer camp. It turned out my seat was next to Roger's, but Esther was not gonna back down. She insisted I switch seat with her.
I'm airsick. Grace, you can have my seat back there, please.
I just wanted her to leave me alone, so I grabbed my bag and gave her the seat. To my surprise, a minute later, Roger swapped seat with the guy next to me, and we were sitting together again.
I just want to be closer to the bathroom.
He smiled at me. That smile was made of sunshine, and I found that he was a really handsome guy, the cute and sweet type. How come I didn't see it before? During the trip we talked about car racing. I was surprised to find out that he had even won season title before. While he told me a lot of funny stuff during his training, I told him the reason for my poker face. He also learned why I drove like crazy the other day. We talked and only he laughed, but still we had a good time and had become friends ever since. Esther was burning with fire. She tried very hard to seize every chance to win Roger over, but saw no result.
This is not the end. Let's wait and see.
After back to school, Roger had his next game coming up. He was training hard and everything went okay. On the day of the game, I came to cheer for him, but a few minutes before the game, I spotted a familiar figure sneaking around. It was Esther, so I I stalked her to see what was going on. She met up with a guy wearing a cap. I saw the man showing her a video of him cutting a wire of a car, and she handed a pile of cash to him. It gave me chills to see this, and I spotted it was Roger's car, but there was no time for delay. I rushed to Roger and tried to stop him, but it was too late. There was only time for me to open the door and get on the car. Roger was confused. While he was riding like the wind, I told him there was something wrong with the car and that he needed to follow my lead. He felt it too, since the brake won't work. Since I had that accident, I learned everything about car emergency, and I knew there was a gentle slope with soft grass ahead. I told him to drive aside, unbuckle the seatbelt, open the door and jump on my count. We jumped simultaneously and rolled down the slope. He crashed into a tree and managed to grab my arm before falling into a stupor. We both skinned our knees, arms and here and there, but most importantly, we were alive. I called 911 immediately. While I accompanied Roger to the hospital, Esther was waiting anxiously for the report of the accident in the audience. Actually, she already regretted it and prayed that Roger would be okay. So when I told her that Roger was alright, she was in great relief and told me she would turn herself in for what she did.
I was so upset that I lost my mind. I should never do such horrible thing. I will apologize to Roger and pay the price.
Since Esther took the initiative to come forward and Roger forgave her, she was able to come home on probation and was demanded to do community service, during which she grew an interest in animal care, especially dogs. So later on she went to study animal behavior and has become a professional dog trainer now. Roger also formed a different view of his life after the accident and went to study special education in university and has been trying to add to those poor kids' happiness by engage them in jogging, playing basketball, swimming and going camping out in the wild. As for me, I am now a youth therapist offering guidance to youth who are dealing with depression and anxiety or other mental health problems.